I think the problem is looking for those shortcuts or even maybe even finding them. I think it's keeping them from actually building wealth.
Some of these are like traps that they fall into. And the first one is like pipeline dopamine.
The hero leader, right, me, stays involved in everything. I'm touching it all. I'm writing the remarks. I'm approving this because obviously I can do it faster. I know more than everybody.
So let's get into fixes, like upgrade to CEO thinking, and let's get specific. Instead of like just build systems, like what will actually move the needle.
All right, Wayne, I think I found something that you and I might agree on. I think it's a strong possibility. I think most agents think there's a shortcut to success. Like, I think they do. But I think here's the thing.
Well, here, let me push back. I think they're taught to look for shortcuts. They're taught and they're sold shortcuts, right? So let's get into them. But we're business owners. Is there a better, faster way? So I was like, they're taught that there are shortcuts. In some places there are, some places there aren't. So I think that's what leads into this.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the problem is looking for those shortcuts or even maybe even finding them. I think it's keeping them from actually building wealth. I think it's the shiny object syndrome. We know how that goes. And it's taking them off their game. And so I think today we need to answer the hard question. Are you actually growing or are you just upgrading your stress level? Here's the reality. Growth, it comes in different forms, but it doesn't mean that growth in business equals income. And most agents, we've seen it, they increase their earnings. Yeah. They can do that, but they're decreasing their business strength, meaning they are the business. So sure, I can do more because I'm doing more, but my business isn't worth more because it's only me doing it at the exact same time.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Well, and I think there's some of these are like traps that they fall into. And the first one is like pipeline dopamine, right? Which is like, we're taught to like chase the new lead, chase the new listing, go get the new thing. And it feels like momentum. The problem is if you're not building a sustainable way to do that over and over and over, you're doing, it's like you're doing it for the first time every time. So, and you see people do this, whether it's recruiting with leadership, whatever it is, it's like, I need an agent. So they go recruit real hard for a week or two. And then they're like, oh, found one, and they come back, but they didn't have a system or process to it. So they're doing it for the same thing, same time every year. Right. And it's like you're doing it for the first time every time, and you're not building a pipeline. It's all just grunt force.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the other one is the other shortcut I think people try and do, and this is the blowback, is the hero leader shortcut, where, the hero leader, right, me, stays involved in everything. I'm touching it all. I'm writing the remarks. I'm approving this because obviously I can do it faster. I know more than everybody. But like, think of the dependency that creates in your team. Like, they're not going to be able to go to the bathroom without asking you, like, hey, should I go this way? Like, toilet paper under or toilet paper over? Like, how's that going to make? And like, we need more decision makers around us, not less, right? And I think that's really what people aren't looking at, is like, there's leadership and there's not. Like, there's no second layer. And so your business becomes a high paying job if you do not have decision makers around you. And I think that's where people got to get out of their own way and stop being the hero. Like, that's not cool. Let other people be the hero.
And teach people how to make those decisions. And then I think the third one is the dashboards in front of them. Like, a lot of us struggle with any dashboards at all. But then, we talk about our success path when you and I are working with a client. And one of the steps of the success path is build your dashboards, build your cockpit. And most people are looking at just like the one on the wall, right? How many deals, how many pendings, whatever, that's great. But are you also looking at profit margin and your time and scalability? It's like, hey, so I think you got to have multiple scoreboards. Most people have, maybe have one score, but they probably don't have a couple.
I think the main thing you hit on there, and I have this discussion all the time, is your time. I talk to agents all the time, and like, our thing is like, we help streamline processes and help you save time. They never factor in that their time has a cost. And I think until people realize your time actually has a dollar value, you're not really leading.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think there's three real costs here, right? And the first cost is if you're not doing, and I know we talked about this in a lot of the other episodes, but if you're not building assets, SOPs, processes, systems, your business really doesn't have any value. Yeah. Right? Like think about when you buy a dentist practice, you're not necessarily buying the equipment. The equipment's cool, but the equipment's going to wear out and be different, like 2 years from now. But you're buying the processes. How
Yeah.
do they get people to remind people to come in for their cleaning? What's the
Yeah.
process for getting stuff done? How do they get the supplies? Like all those things. The second one is like operational drag. Like if you're the person that has to do it all, right? You're not able to go fast, right? You're not able to scale anything, and you're delaying real wealth by chasing the dollar tomorrow.
Hey, really quick, you know how YouTube works. Like and subscribe so we know this is working and it keeps pushing the content out.
Yeah, this is what we do as a passion project. Wayne got his own coaching, I got my real estate, but we've come together because we want y'all to learn from all our scars and mistakes. So that like and subscribe means the world to us because it means you care and it means we can keep giving, and also it makes us look cool with my mom.
Absolutely.
So let's get into fixes, like upgrade to CEO thinking, and let's get specific instead of like just build systems. Like what will actually move the needle forward for a whole lot of people? So give us some of the steps and what that looks like in a real world scenario.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good question. And so I think the first step is what you have to do is you have to like replace your production goals with dependency goals. And what I mean by that is like stop asking like how many deals can we close this quarter? That's cool. That's the very basic way of looking at it. But also what you need to look at is what must my business be doing for me to stop needing me this quarter? So like, how can you replace yourself? Because, again, closing deals, great. But if your goal is not to be in the deals or to do more, how can you get out of it? What can you give away? And so maybe it's client communication. That's a strong one. Some people don't like that. Maybe it's listing coordination. Do you really need to be running lock boxes to a house and cutting keys? Do you really? I mean, super important, but do you? Maybe it's the transaction oversight. Like, do you really need to read once you get somebody trained, do you really need to read every remark or every photo, review every photo that goes out? And that's quality control. I hear you, but let somebody else do quality control. So I think you can grow by reducing, not increasing.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And I think the second one is I haven't really assigned a job to somebody unless I've also given them responsibility. And that's a new way of thinking about it. Like it's one to like give somebody hey, I want you to do this thing. Or it's like, it's your job to get this result. If you need my help, you can come to me for things. But it's like, hey, do I want somebody to put out videos? Or is it going like, hey, I expect us to get this many interactions a month through our videos. This is your thing. So I think it's giving them responsibility, helping them become responsible for the outcome, not just responsible for doing the task. And for me, that's been a big shift. It's like, how do I get people not just to do the task, but to be more responsible for the outcome I expect of that task? And that's it's a different way of looking at stuff for me.
Yeah, no, you give somebody ownership, like they have a whole new kind of lease on life and they're excited and they want to take care of it. But you give them a task, they don't care about the outcome. So I think you're 100% right. The third one I think we can agree on is I would track going to the CEO route is what we're talking about is track your freedom metrics, right? So while most people are looking at GCI units, kind of like I was talking earlier, but like what you should also be looking at is like how many hours a week did you work? The number of issues escalated to you, the deals closed without your involvement. There's a cool book I'm reading right now, and I'm not going to go into a tie right now, but it's like the 5 types of wealth. And it talks about financial, but also time, but also emotional and friends. And so I kind of look at it the same way is like, am I running myself into a ground or is this one of the 5 ways of wealth? And that's obviously deals. And the other one is time. So I think if, the deals closed without your involvement, that's great. But those numbers don't improve if your growth is fake, right? So like if you're doing real growth and doing real systems, your growth will take off without you. And that's what we all want.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one great task that people could do, like you have people do their time audit, which I think is awesome. Another turn on that would be do the time audit and then go back through it with 3 highlighters, right? And like green is like awesome, dollar productive, best thing that I could have been doing during that time. Like green is like, absolutely, I should be on the phone with that person doing that thing, right? And red is like, probably shouldn't be doing that, right? Like I'm probably not the one that should be ordering business cards. I'm probably not the one that should have been dealing with this problem because I don't even know about that problem. Like call the help desk, right? Whatever it is, right? So red is like, please, dear baby Jesus, stop. And then yellow is what are the things that maybe I can't give away today, but I probably could give away. Hey, if I had a decision tree for this, we could probably give that away. If we had a list of where we get all our supplies, people probably wouldn't have to come and ask for me where we get the staples, because there's a list somewhere, right? So like, I think it's a great thing to do that time on, to go back through and go like, green, awesome. If I was running my business and I was working for me, I would say, absolutely, you're doing the right thing at the right time.
Sure.
Red is, I'm paying you a lot of money. Why the hell were you doing that? Please never do that ever again. Right. And then yellow is, man, I think if I built some processes, I think if I built some decision trees, I think if I made a checklist for this, I don't know if I'd have to do that forever. And I think it's one really healthy little step. And I think the last thing I'll say on this before we get into the next episode, where we go deeper on some other things about teams collapsing, etc. But the last thing I'll say on this is,
you deserve the right to give something away if you don't like to do it, if you can. So look at it for joy and ROI and see if those can match up. So, all right. So here's the thing, guys. We're going to wrap this bad boy up, but most agents chasing shortcuts are just rich on paper and they're poor in control. So yeah, sure, they've built income. They've never built a business that could survive without them though. So here's the scary part. The agents chasing these shortcuts, they're the same ones building big teams right now. And that's scary. And what's going to happen is you could build, like I like to say, you can build the tallest building in the world, but if there's no structure to it, it's going to come crumbling down at some point. So that's exactly why you need to watch our next episode.
Hey, real quick, if you're liking this content, imagine having a full day immersed with people that are on this, like us, that are learning from each other.
Man, we do these kind of events, these intensive, a couple times a year. And if you know that you are the smartest person in the room and you need to get in some other rooms, this is the place to be, right? So apply, send us a message right now. We'll send you the application link and see if you are the right fit to be in one of the rooms.